Hi, this is Brian Putnam of the Putnam Law Office in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Just taking a few minutes to pass on a couple of thoughts with respect to clients who are involved in divorces and custody matters. Um, Many times a client comes in with very little to no experience with an attorney. A lot of times the only experience they have is what they've seen on TV, and uh, that's not necessarily the most accurate portrayal of how attorneys necessarily act or should act in some cases. I'm thinking of several shows that are a little bit beyond the scope of what should be reality. Anyway, um, I've been seeing a sad increase in scenarios where clients are unmarried and they're coming in for custody battles with their ex-partner, particularly when little children are involved, 5, 6, 7 years old. And it occurred to me, based on many conversations, that there is a pattern of conduct out there in the legal community that needs to be addressed. Obviously, we're not going to do that here. It's outside the scope of what I wanted to talk about, but there are a lot of attorneys, and I can't say with any certainty what amount, but a good number, and I've even had a few clients come to me from other attorneys because those people were they were not involved with their clients in, we'll just say, a proper manner. They were very egotistical, or they were more concerned about money. A good attorney should listen to their client clearly and sort through what their client is saying to determine what their client really wants. But listening to what their client is saying to determine what they want requires more than just a desire to monetize the situation. A good attorney should listen with a high degree of emotional intelligence, and there are varying degrees of that out there. I personally developed my emotional intelligence and my ability to listen as an officer in the Air Force for more than 20 years, and dealing with people all around the world and in a multitude of locations, some good, some very, very bad places. You learn things, and you learn how to deal with people and personalities that are broadly different than they are here in the United States, and you learn how to incorporate that into your daily life. When you bring in a client who has children, particularly, again, small children involved, you should understand that as an attorney, yes, it is your job to guide people through the court system, but that should not be your primary goal. Your primary goal should actually be as a counselor to guide them through their decision-making processes and determine what is in the best interest of the children. Now, here in Oklahoma, the state law requires consideration of what is in the best interest of the children, but that's loosely determined. And outside of what would be considered fairly obvious, child abuse, dangerous neglect, drug usage, trafficking, things like that. What is in the best interest of a child is loosely interpreted, and it's very subjective at times. However, that being said, when you have two parents who are arguing over what's in the best interest of their children, a good attorney is not going to think about taking something to trial as the primary consideration of their discussion with the client. A good attorney is going to try to resolve the matter as quickly as possible without dragging it out and charging their client for multiple meetings and drawing up unnecessary expenses. my job, the way I see it, as a child friendly attorney, we'll put it that way. I care about my client, but I care once that client comes to me and says he or she has children involved, my priority focus shifts from what the client wants to what would be best for the children. And if those things coincide, then so be it. But there honestly may be times when what the parent wants, it may not necessarily be good for the children. Now, it's not my judgment call as a parent or as an attorney, but it is something I discuss. I discuss the risks, the pros, the cons with my client. At the end of the day, the client is the boss, and I will do whatever I need to do within the bounds of the law to make whatever argument that they want me to make. But the point is that when you're dealing with a client and there are small children involved, it is always wise to consider what the children are going to have to go through, the second and third order effects sometimes. And there are many scenarios out there that we won't deal with right now. But I just thought it important to mention to anyone who wants to listen that if you're seeking an attorney for a custody matter, whether it's parental custody only or if there's a divorce with potential custody situation involved, you should look for an attorney who is going to sit and discuss matters with you and not just say, okay, well, we're going to go to court and we're going to sue for this, that, and the other. I mean, ultimately, that may be what you end up having to do, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that has to be the first thing that comes to mind. So my number is 405-726-1010. My website is Putnam Law Office, Putnam lawoffice.com, and I am located in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. If you have questions, I'm happy to field them. Until then, enjoy your day. Bye.